So it's been a little bit over a month since this PV trailer for the upcoming Berserk fan animation came out, and it really took the internet by storm. Like, this whole trailer had a lot of discussion around it. I made a video on it the day the trailer came out as well, and it legitimately got a lot of people buzzing and talking about it. Hell, you take a look here, I mean, this post has, 9.7 million views, 84k likes. There's clearly a lot of anticipation for this upcoming Berserk anime. And to kind of do a brief synopsis for we're all on the same page here, if you had not heard about this for some reason, basically this is a group, a fan group, that came together to build their own studio to pretty much make Berserk the Black Swordsman. And this is going to be a complete, just fans coming together and doing it themselves. Making a Berserk anime themselves and giving us something that many fans have been asking for since basically decades now at this point. And to kind of talk about a few things that I kind of neglected to talk about in my video when I discussed this trailer, a lot of people said that the original Berserk anime wasn't necessarily bad. And in a way, I agree. The original, OG Berserk anime isn't bad. But there is, content cut. One of the big noticeable cut contents of, the Berserk anime, the original, I'm talking about, the 1990s or whatever, is that Puck is completely removed. FYI, if you can go back and look yourself, but Puck is literally omitted from the story. So, pretty much, there has always been flaws in the Berserk anime, all the different anime releases, to CGI releases, to just content cut, or censored, and so one of the big things that people were excited about when this got announced a month ago was that, since this is going to be a fan project, it's not necessarily going to be airing on, a TV broadcasting and all that, it's just going to release on the web, probably YouTube, etc., this pretty much means that they're able to do anything they want in terms of, adapting. They can show anything, they don't have to censor it, and it will keep the actual nature of what Berserk is intact with all the violence, the gore, all that. It will be everything that it probably was in the manga. And, one of the big things that many people have been looking forward to or interested about is that, how were they going to handle the story? Where was the story going to go? Which is why I'm even making this video, because I found out apparently days after, a few weeks after, they made this trailer and all that, they kind of released a OST. We got our first glimpse of, an OST of what's going to be playing for the anime, but also a few days after, that initial post, apparently they kind of talked more about what they're going to be covering for the show, and also some very early concept art of what Guts is going to look like in the fan animation. And I gotta say, I really like the way this looks. It really does capture, Guts in his youthful days, because it's I know many of us that read Berserk or are used to Guts' overall character design is used to him having the white patch on his head and all that with his hair, and, a lot of, scratches and scars, all that over his body. He just looks very aged. And anyone that goes back to the original, the Golden Age arc, or the Black Swordsman arc, or the Conviction arc, you could see just how younger Guts looked at that time period, and just how, he looked young. But in the current stuff, he's very old. And I love how the design of Guts here really does capture his youthful look. There clearly is a lot of detail and just passion behind this project that really, I'm really excited for. Now, obviously, I don't think that this is going to be a perfect, project. I mean, anything in the grand scheme of things is not going to be perfect. There's going to be a lot of flaws, a lot of things that are not necessarily, good, but I think that one of the big things that's going to make this project stand out, why there's a lot of anticipation around it, is because the fan base. The fan base have been wanting to see something like this for a while, and you have a group of fans coming together to make this project. It's just it has everything, that could actually win and actually be successful. The only thing that really comes to my mind after this whole thing is that I'm worried about the copyright issues, because I doubt the companies in Japan, with just how sticks in the mud they can be, I mean, think of Nintendo, good example, or Sony, I doubt those Japanese companies that have the rights to Berserk is going to be happy with Berserk getting a fan animation done for it and released to the public. That's probably that's probably going to lead into some form of, copyright or whatever in the future. But, regardless, though, it does seem like they're even making their own soundtrack. I'll play it briefly. I don't know if this is, copyrighted or not, but, I'll link this as well. I'll put this in the description if you want to listen to the full song. But, it sounds really good. It fits. like, it fits Berserk. You know, like, it has that saddish undertone with, like, the rock music and stuff. It's not bad. It is not a bad song. This is our first look at, like, a song, so I am looking forward to seeing how they kind of come up with their own soundtracks, etc. But, let's talk about this information. So this came out a few days after I made that video, and I just actually kind of found out about this, and so most of you might know, but there's a lot of people that don't actively search this up and might just hear it for the first time here. So basically, what they talked about here in this post is that they won't be adapting the Golden Age arc, aka Guts when he meets Griffith and he meets, you know, the mercenary band and all that. You know, before demons were really a thing within the story, basically just the origin story of Guts, you know, eventually losing his eye, losing his arm, the eclipse, all that. You know, they're skipping that arc. And I think the reason why they're not wanting to adapt that is because most of the time when it's come to the Berserk anime, they adapt the Golden Age arc. I mean, that's the truth. They do that often. So for them to say they're not going to adapt it makes a lot of sense because, I mean, it's been done with the movies, it's been done with the OG series, it's just like they don't really need to do that again. Now, will they potentially do it? Maybe. We'll see. But, they basically confirmed that their intentions at the very moment is not to make the Golden Age saga, but just the Black Swordsman arc. And a lot of people are probably wondering, okay, what is the Black Swordsman arc? Because a lot of people confuse this. There's a lot of confusion around that, because people assume the Black Swordsman arc is, like, the story after the Golden Age. Like, for instance, it's, like, after the whole eclipse and stuff. It's just the story after, all the way up to the, you know, Conviction arc. You know, that's what people assume. But, in fact, the Black Swordsman arc is the first 3 volumes of Berserk, which technically was, you know, before the Golden Age arc. But for some reason, it's never been properly adapted in anime. Like I said, the OG series omitted Puck from it, so, like, that's not even perfect. And so, when you factor in all these little things, it's like, it makes sense that they're just going to start from the beginning. They're literally starting from Chapter 1, Volume 1. That's what they're doing. And their intentions, at the very least, is probably to cover up to the Count fight, where Griffith is really first introduced, or Finto, technically, is introduced into the story of Berserk, and Guts faces him briefly in the Abyss. So, it's like, that's clearly their, you know, intention. Now, they said there won't be any censors or toned down scenes. I think that is good, but that definitely is going to have a very shocking start, because anyone that has read the first chapter of Berserk knows it starts off very, let's just say, definitely not something that can be shown on YouTube. That's all I'm gonna say. Anyone, if you're really interested, you want to be reminded, just go look at the first chapter of Berserk. So, yeah, if they're really not gonna censor anything or tone down scenes, then definitely that's gonna be a wild start to Berserk. But, they also confirmed there will be no 3D CGI, so that's good news. I mean, I think that CGI inherently isn't bad. It gets such a bad rep because it's always used in such bad ways. But they confirmed that they pretty much want to digital draw it, so I think that's fine. I'm looking forward to that one. It also will be voiced in English and Japanese, plus an original score. Now, I'm assuming this original score is their homemade songs, but that's also fascinating. So, English and Japanese. That's really, really interesting. So, I wonder if they're really going to get new voice actors or not, but yeah, overall, there's a lot of stuff that's came out about this, like this song and stuff, to revealing that what they're actually going to be doing. And so I've honestly been keeping my eyes on them. I really am excited to see where they're going to go, because I really, really like this. Apparently, they're also going to be doing the Attack on Titan Requiem as well. They're going to be adapting that, so that's going to be interesting. Can't wait to see the fans react to that one. But regardless, though, in terms of Berserk, I can't wait. I am anticipating this, and I really hope this goes okay, and I hope that they don't get into any legal trouble, because that definitely will, probably be a problem, eventually. But I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it. You know, please subscribe if you like my content and you want to see more. Chibi out.